Let's go!
Everything.
LSU gets them a new center from the transfer portal, Mr. Braelin Moore. We're going to break down some of his tape, and I'll tell you where I am here in just a moment. I want to start off with a very good rep versus the only SEC team he went up against, which, of course, was the season opener versus Vanderbilt. One thing I really like about him is he is a very heady player. So you have a twist stunt right here where there is a zero nose over the top of him. He starts to feel that this nose is coming over here, and then the guard picks him up, and then he peeks around and sees the twisting DT come around. I can't tell you how many times twisters over the past couple of seasons were able to go through unblocked. This guy's coming through unblocked, but at least we picked up this player, and guess what? Because we picked up that twister and was able to keep him out of the passing lane, you get a nice explosive pass play when you are down by 14. You love to freaking see it, baby. All right, so now we get to here, and this is really good run blocking, okay? So we are zone blocking here to the left, and his job right here is to help get a little piece on this double team and then climb to the second level on this backer, right? We really struggled with these kinds of things up the middle of this season, and look at him climb right here, second level, and boom, seals this guy to the outside, and that opens up a wide open hole for the running back to run through. So honestly, as good as the throws and the catches and the runs were on this drive, a lot of this 7 points was on Braelin Moore. All right, let's get to another really good double team. And one thing I'll point out is his first half wasn't as good as his second, right? Now, why is that the case? Well, last year he was actually a left guard, so this is honestly the first ever center reps he's really ever played at Virginia Tech. So he had a somewhat rough first half, and then in the second half, he helps with this double, and look at the pop right here. The running back actually misses the vertical cutback lane right here. When he gets to here, if the running back had actually cut vertically, he's probably getting through here for a pretty nice gain. That's excellent stuff right there. You just need a better cut from 33, who is actually a really good back. All right, so this isn't entirely on him. It comes down to who actually sets the protection. But one thing I did see watching a few different games were a lot of these delayed pressures where there was unblocked A-gap pressure. So this needs to get sorted out. Is the quarterback responsible for this guy? Should we have actually fanned our guard to the left to pick up the A-gap and you pick up this player? With there only being one player, you need to know who is picking him up if he's blitzing or if by design you're actually leaving him unblocked. So there was some of this when watching a few different Virginia Tech games, and that's going to be sorted out because, well, it's the SC freaking C. The good thing is Drones is a really good quarterback, and he was still able to make this very difficult throw. So Braelin Moore is entering LSU as a year 4 player, and this will be his year 3 as a starter. And you can see that overall processing is really good. This block right here is so unfreaking believably difficult. You have a left guard that's pulling around here as part of this elaborate play action fake. Now, a lot of teams do these kinds of play actions where a guard is pulling to help sell that this could be a run to the right. You see how that forces these backers to bite, even though the running back is to this side of the quarterback? The problem is when you do these pulls, it can open yourself to slot corner blitzes and all that coming from the left side. So if there's a lot of pressure coming from this side, that's one less person you have to block it. So watch what Braelin Moore does. He picks up the DT, and then he sees that blitzer coming from the second level. The guard, the right guard, does a good job coming down and picking up this DT. And look at him right here. Bang. Okay, did he get dominated right there physically? Yeah, we don't want to see that, and that's part of it, right? He's not the biggest guy, but he picked it up. And after picking that up, take a look at this pocket. Really, really, really good stuff. And, well, you got to catch this football. 3rd and 6, and this is where he has a little bit of a DJ Chester type of issue, which is the bull rush, right? He's not the biggest, strongest guy in the world. Now, watch what actually happens here. You see that he is getting pushed really deep into this pocket, and there is a backup quarterback into the game. But watch him reset and actually stick with the rep. So this is where it's going to be interesting because, last year with Garrett Nussmeier, he had to throw so many balls because DJ Chester was in his lap. So will Nuss trust Moore to reset and fight his way back into the rep? There's nobody better at this, and albeit he's a left tackle, than Will Campbell. Will get bull rush from time to time, but reset his feet and fight his way back into the rep. So you'll see that this pocket ends up being good. You don't think that at first, though, because there was so much pressure. And if the quarterback here would have stuck it out, now Garrett Nussmeier would be sticking this out, keeping his eyes down the field, and working this backside for the game-tying touchdown, or Garrett would see that this deep over would have eventually opened up. So not the best rep right there, but it was still good. Good enough to tie this game. You take a sack, and then obviously Virginia Tech would go on to lose. All right, let's get to the Miami game. So one of the tougher teams on Virginia Tech's schedule. Now, this block isn't a hard block, but it is the most important block for this play to work because we're getting our left guard pulled over to this side. We need a good, quick down block, and look at how he seals 99 and doesn't allow him to cross face, right? We have done so many film studies this year with LSU's offensive linemen, even some of the better ones on this year's team, allowing the defensive linemen to cross face. Now, they are going to be able to do this, especially if they're stronger than you. But look at how when 99 is starting to cross face and go across this way, Braelin Moore fights like hell to make it as difficult as possible. And look, because he does that, that allowed another player to help seal 99, and that opens up this gap right here for this nice QB power run play. Really, really, really good stuff. All right, I want you to see how well this information gets processed, okay? He is a very heady player. Now, he doesn't really do anything here, but he is so smart doing these small little things correct. I didn't say that smoothly at all, okay? So take a look at what actually happens here. Ball is snapped, and he's trying to find trouble, all right? So you have 2-3 techs, right? So 2 DTs that are on the outside shoulders of the guards, all right? A very unusual alignment. Normally there is someone in the A-gap or straight head up. So Braelin Moore has a bunch of different options. Obviously, if somebody blitzes through the A-gap, you need to make a play. If someone blitzes through here, you need to make a play. But watch what actually happens. Miami elects to pinch both of these guys, drop them back in hopes that they can get B-gap pressure. It's a very exotic thing that they are trying to pull off. But watch what Braelin Moore does. So he snaps his head to the left and sees that this DT is backing out. All right? So once he sees it back out, look at how quickly, bang, he's now looking to the right to see if this DT might be coming. No, he backs out. All right? So then he snaps his head back to the left, seeing if there's a twister coming. He says, okay, there's no twisters coming through here. All right? And he just sticks with it. That is so good. Like, that is so freaking good. All right? I understand he really didn't do anything, but that snapping heads, right? Doing the small little things, finding work. It's really, really, really good stuff. And, of course, you don't actually get anything out of it. So I got to shout out one of PHL's legends. That is Danny Girl. She has been one of the biggest supporters here on PHL, and she has been begging to find powerful centers. Obviously a big problem since the Cushenberry era. Even Charles Turner, who was pretty much the only good center we've had since then, is the guy in the middle just getting ragdolled. All right? With Braelin Moore, that is a weakness. He is not the biggest guy, and he's going to be going up against bigger, faster, stronger DTs in the SEC, and that's just part of it. And you'll see right here, he's jacked up pretty bad right here. Okay, you'll see that he's getting too gapped. It's not good on this 3rd and 1. Now, obviously, with it being 3rd and 1, the defensive lineman can have a better idea of guessing that this is indeed going to be a run play, but this is just the downside of having a smaller center, and he just gets torn up here, and they are stopped short, but they're not because Drones is an absolute beast. So not his best rep right there, but that's just part of it. Alrighty, so let's get to one of the more impressive plays on his tape, all right? Y'all, this is so freaking hard to do. You've got to be very athletic to pull this off. So you're on the road where it's way more difficult to play center. You're with your backup quarterback. In fact, they get down to their 3rd stringer, and he's having to pull around to block a fast guy. All right? This is different than if this is a defensive end. This is a second level blitzer, actually a third level, looks like this is a safety, really steaming down, and he actually times this well. So I want you to see the distance. Look at the freaking distance that he has to cover. I love being able to actually stand up and move around. It's a little bit of a change. So he has to get all the way over here, or else this play is blown up, okay? Now, do you think DJ Chester is making this block? He's not, okay? This is so freaking good. It really is. So he rides him upfield and gives number 3 all day in a bag of chips. And guess what? He's able to hit this huge, explosive touchdown, right? That was all Braelin Moore making that very difficult block under heavy duress. Okay, and we get an end zone angle, all right? It's kind of cut off. Now, this will give you a good idea of where he had to go. He was here. He was right here at the snap, and now you would think he's the right tackle, all right? Riding a single digit upfield. Really good stuff. Doesn't allow him to cross face easy. That's really, 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 really beautiful bean footage right there. Love to see it. All right, let's get to a good run block. Obviously, Manny Diaz, the head coach of Duke football, one of the best defensive coaches in all of college football. Okay, take a look at this double right here. All right, good freaking stuff. All right, man, this is good. This is really, 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 really good stuff. And he's able to drive this guy back, and then we're trying to run to the left, so let's seal him to the left. We're able to wall him off, and look at all that extra distance. 91 is all the way back in Baton Rouge. I mean, he's down here hanging out with me. Really, really, really good block, and obviously a very vital ACC game to try and get to bowl eligibility. All right, so we get to this Hail Mary, and this is just a disaster. Obviously, in this spot, you're not thinking that they're going to bring everyone, but they bring everyone. This is how Hail Mary defense should be run, okay? Bring the entire house. And with the third-string quarterback in, guess what? We have all types of A-gap pressure, all right? And he just gets overwhelmed. This guy gets through, and this guy is able to get through as well. Once again, these double mug, a little too many unblocked A-gap pressures for me when watching him, but that could be sorted out, right? Your center is oftentimes only as good as your guards. So who his guards are going to be to the left and right of him are going to be so big. But as you can see overall, I really liked what I saw. So, what do we make of Braelin Moore? First, before I give you the God's honest truth about how I feel about him, I'm currently in a hospital where my father-in-law underwent a procedure earlier today. It actually went well. So we still have obviously a long way to go. This is a huge hospital. There's nobody in here, or it would be kind of awkward if somebody was just like sitting in the corner over here. But I appreciate all the prayers and love and you guys working with my schedule. And I wanted to get a video out. So yeah, let's go. Now, shout out to Ben. Shout out to everyone that supported. If it's in your heart's desire, drop a Venmo, Cash App, all that good stuff. Most of the money I make on this channel is through your donations. It goes a long way. And special shout out to Zion Imaging, NOPOD, NoOffSeason.com, and so on. Okay. The reason why I spent so much time on the Virginia Tech Vanderbilt game is because you guys are, worried about SEC level competition. And Vanderbilt ended up being, of course, one of the better teams on Virginia Tech's schedule. And, we did the film study on Braelin Moore's teammate, Mansour Delane. He had a rough game versus Vanderbilt. You have to keep in mind, though, the part of the reason why I hated using this game for Braelin Moore as a big part of the film study is that this was his first game as a center. His season before, he was a left guard. So that's actually a really good thing because he gives you a lot of experience. And let's just say DJ Chester has this magical leap. Well, you could put Braelin Moore at left guard. So it's very impressive that this guy has over 1,300 snaps of Power 4 experience. Now, once again, it is the ACC. The defensive linemen in the ACC, they're good. They're not as good as they are in the SEC. So you do worry about that. And obviously, on this rep in particular, you do worry about some power and some finish. Right here, obviously, that wasn't a good block on 4. He was able to scrape over the top and eventually go make this play. Like I said, this Virginia Tech first half was tough. But once again, this was, his first game at center. Man, he's good. I mean, I really do think he's good. And this basically, as far as the mental aspect of it, I think he's going to be fine. It's just going to come down to the physical aspect of playing against just better players on a week in, week out basis. He is by far, though, the single most important transfer for LSU because what they had last year at center was unacceptable. Now, once again, I've said this in every single live stream that we have done on PHL. None of what I have said over the past year has been personal towards any lineman, but it was on Brian Kelly and the coaching staff not having a better option at center or just someone else at center readily available to try. It was such a huge liability, okay? You could go throughout the rest of the SEC. DJ Chester was by far the lowest graded center in the SEC, especially of these centers who were every down starters, right? So the fact that LSU was able to go find someone, win a competitive recruiting battle versus a guy with all this experience is so freaking huge for this offensive line. Now, Brian Kelly did say he wants to get some more offensive linemen in here, but man, I can't tell you how freaking excited I am because LSU now has someone that could go out there and, really make a difference for us on a week in, week out basis. Such a huge pickup. Give Brad Davis, Brian Kelly, and the staff a lot of credit for going out there and finding your center of the future. It is our SEC. Boom! Thanks for all your prayers, love, support, and tonight we are doing... I'm trying this place. I've seen the ads for it. I've never been somewhere where there's a Jersey Mike's, so I'm going to go try a Jersey Mike's sub. Y'all let me know what I should go get. Let's go.